Hi, everybody. It's Helen McConnell here again, and this is your bonus video for the series of 5 videos to help make your tapping more effective. This bonus video is for something that I think is pretty common, and this is to teach you how to overcome your fear of public speaking. I discovered this when I first learned how to tap. I was at an event where there was a panel of speakers, and I wasn't on the panel. I was in the audience, and they asked for questions, and I had a question, but I was too afraid to raise my hand. I was thinking, oh my God, my voice is going to be shaky. And I just didn't want to have that experience of the shaky voice and then the after effect of not being able to hear what the answer was anyway. So in that moment, I remembered tapping, and I just sort of went like this. I was in the midst of a crowd, and I didn't want to be doing this. So I just tapped here. I breathed into the feeling in my gut that I was already kind of shaky feeling. I just tapped and breathed into it, just noticed the sensation. I didn't use any words out loud. And maybe I did a little here, but I know I didn't tap on top of my head. I just tapped here. And you can easily do this when you feel nervous about speaking. Now, I don't know if the results will happen as quickly for you as they did for me, but I just tapped a little bit, and all of a sudden it was as if my hands were not under my control anymore. My hand shot up. I got called on, and out of me came this very clear, very bold voice, no shakiness whatsoever. And I asked my question. That was a miracle. And then what was even more miraculous is I heard the answer. Now, I don't remember what this event was even about, but in that moment of doing that process of steady voice, strong voice, and hearing the answer, I thought, oh my God, everybody needs to know how to do this, because I know most people don't like to speak in public. And most people would prefer just about anything to speaking in public. And even that thing, I wasn't really speaking in public. I wasn't giving a presentation. I was just asking a question. And I know that most of us have that fear. In fact, that fear will stop us from asking when we have an opportunity to ask a question. We'll just stop and not ask. So I want to show you what you could do if you suffer from the fear of speaking in public. Doesn't even have to be paralyzing, but even if it makes you shaky and you don't want to have a shaky voice, I do recommend, first of all, just tap like this and sense into that feeling as you tap. Really send your mental awareness there. Again, not even using any words, because usually we experience this in the middle of something. You can even do this after, if you've spoken and now you're just like, tap and let that energy leave your body. Let the excess energy leave. So you just tap, focus on the feeling, until you begin to calm down a little bit. Go all the way around. You may need to go around twice. Everybody's a little different. Okay, so that's the silent version. And if you are already a speaker and you get nervous before you go on stage or before you get out in front of a group or whatever, just tap on the side of your hand. You don't need to use any words. The most effective way is to focus or put your attention on the feeling while you tap. But I believe you don't even have to do that to get some results. You can be talking with somebody and feel nervous and start tapping. And this tapping on the side of the hand is scientifically proven to lower your cortisol level, soothe your nervous system. So I say do this anytime you feel nervous about anything. It doesn't have to be in public. It could be speaking to your boss or speaking to your spouse or speaking to your parents or speaking to your kids. Just breathe and tap. All right, so now if you want to add some words, if you have time to do this in advance or afterwards, I would do it like this. You can adapt this however you want for your own situation, but I want you to think about your presenting in front of this group. And the first thing I encourage you to ask yourself is, what am I really afraid of? Okay. And notice what comes up. What am I really afraid of? For a lot of people, it's like, I'm just afraid I'm going to make an ass out of myself. I'm going to forget what I need to talk about. I'm going to have a shaky voice. I'm going to get fired. People aren't going to like me. They're not going to respect me. Whatever it is that comes up, just notice it. Maybe even jot it all down. And then ask yourself, what am I afraid of if I make an ass out of myself? Go down further down that rabbit hole. I'm afraid I'm going to make an ass out of myself, and just sense into, what does that even mean? Like, no one will understand. Everyone will laugh at me just like they did when I was in school. And that will take you to remember a couple videos back, we talked about finding the root cause. Oftentimes it'll take you back to something that happened when you were young. I had that experience, and it took me back to kindergarten. Once I tapped on that event and got it clear, it doesn't bother me anymore. But oftentimes there's a really old event behind it. So you tap and you say, even though I'm feeling afraid, and I feel it in my gut, my heart is racing, my mouth is dry, and I'm feeling pretty shaky. I love and accept myself. Okay, so by voicing what's really going on, it takes a lot of the oomph out of it, a lot of the power out of it. But it's not completely gone. You say, and even though I'm so afraid of something that might happen, I'm going to look like an ass, or people might laugh at me, or I might just up and freeze and have to run off the stage. I love and accept myself completely. And I want you to try this. I choose to know that there's a greater purpose for this presentation. Just remember that, like, you're being asked to present something for a reason, or you invited yourself to present for a reason, and focus on that greater purpose. Even if you're not quite sure what the purpose is, just know that this isn't about you making an ass out of yourself. This is about you sharing something with people. Okay, and then you can just tap around and say, this feeling in my body, my heart is racing, my mouth feels dry under the eye. I'm breathing rapidly under the nose. I feel really shaky on the chin, but I'm choosing now, collarbone, to take a deep breath in, and do that right now through your nose, and exhale under the arm. And I'm feeling a little better already. All right, so you can do all kinds of things. I'm just kind of making this up as we go. There isn't an exact way to do it. It's what will work for you. But I do encourage you to add, if you have time beforehand, to add those, I'm choosing to breathe deeply now. Because if one of the symptoms of your fear of speaking is shortness of breath or breathing shallowly or whatever, if you consciously change that symptom, that will undo a lot of what's going on. All right. So I know that tapping can help you overcome your fear of speaking in any situation. I know it can. It may do it the first time you try it, or like for me, it definitely changed things from that moment that I first tried it, but I still have to use it sometimes. It depends on who I'm presenting to and what I'm presenting, but I still tap a little on, just to calm my nervous system so that I don't feel like I want to run away, and so that my mind can be present. That's a huge thing, right? I hope you found this series of videos helpful. I'm here for you as your tapping expert. Helen McConnell, helenmcconnell.com. Thanks for joining me.